Yeah, I mean it's it's pretty demanding. The fact that it's week in week out, there's no massive off season in tennis. It's almost 12 months of the year, so therefore you've got to be very smart with your schedule. As I say, there's no like layoff period, so you have to be smart in the tournaments you pick and the schedule that you sit down with your coach and go through. And it's a long year, that's for sure. Go to different places week in week out, living out of a suitcase, and at the level, if you're not obviously at the top level, i.e. top 100, playing the best tour events and being successful there, it's very difficult. It's quite easy to sort of get stuck if you don't break through too quickly. It's quite hard then to get out, and there's not that many glamorous places you go to. Obviously that's the incentive to do better.
Right, so was that the reason why you decided to finish?
No, the reason I decided to finish was a mixture of things. One, I felt that I was probably quite close to my peak. My my aim was always to be top 100 tennis player. At 200, I felt I was not far off, probably reaching my potential, maybe 150. I was at a stage in my career where I'd travelled consistently for about 10 years and wanted a bit more routine to my life, sort of not live out of a suitcase. And
Did you get sick of it?
a little bit, yeah. I mean, the international travel, it sounds glamorous, but when you're doing it for 10 years, and it can be quite hard work. And I wanted just to get a bit of routine. I wanted to make a bit more money. I'm quite an ambitious individual, so when I was, I was ambitious, but I was also a realist that if I wasn't going to make top 100 and play those best tournaments, make good money, I didn't want to hang around and be average, if that's the way of putting it.
Was there quite a few players who were also the same as you within Britain at that time?
And yeah, there was at that time when I stopped 2005, the depth of British tennis in the seniors, there was quite a lot of players between sort of, I'd imagine ranked between around 500 and 200, to 150 even. There was more players then, and then you kind of got a lot of players stopping, retiring, quitting in around 2005, 2006, 2007, and kind of the bottom end fell out a little bit, and there was a bit of a void there. But it's very difficult to break through. I mean, you've obviously got your Andy Murray, who broke through very early. As I said, he got out of those tournaments very fast, so he didn't get stuck. You get players like myself, Bogdanovic, Jamie Baker, though he's a little bit younger, David Sherwood, Lee Childs. There's quite a few of us who had been around for a while and struggled to break through.
How can you stop that from happening? Is it just...
I think when I look back on my career, I don't have any massive regrets, with the way I did it. As I said, I think I can look at myself in the mirror and say I pretty much did everything I could to get to where I got to. Maybe I just wasn't quite good enough. Could have done a few things differently. I wish that I was more. I really enjoyed the international travel more, because I think if I really enjoyed it, I think I would have maybe got a bit higher up, and who knows what happens. You put yourself around those better players, and there's not much difference in standard. It's just that it's being able to repeat it day in, day out, and that's my only sort of regret. I wish that I'd enjoyed the travel more, because that's what I had to do when I was ranked 200 in the world. I had to travel a lot, and I wasn't willing to do that for 40 weeks of the year. And unfortunately, if you're not willing to do it then you're probably not going to get to where you want to get to.
Do you feel you had adequate support during that time from the LTA?
Yeah, I was fortunate. I had a good relationship with the LTA and still do. They financially gave me a lot of backing. The head of men's tennis I had a good relationship with at the time. Obviously I went through a few regimes, but at the end it was Jeremy Bates, David Felgate, and I had a good relationship with them, and I have no complaints with the backing the support I had from them. Well, at this moment in time, I do some weeks for the LTA. I work with a boy called Luke Bambridge, who's 15 years old. He's one of the best players in the country for his age, and I do a certain amount of weeks with him. as well as doing some LTA work, some at the some national camps down at Roehampton. I was coach George Morgan last year. I worked with him for about 18 months, and then prior to that I worked with Daniel Evans, who's now obviously one of the up-and-coming players. I worked with him for almost 2.5 years in the junior game. So I've been fortunate. I've worked with some good players, and although I've been fortunate, I feel that my expertise sort of lies in that area of those up-and-coming juniors, because I've went through it, I've done it, I've come out the other side and got sort of pass on areas where I think I could have improved, and it's just an area which I feel that I probably specialise in with those sort of 16 to 22-year-old boys, men,
Right.
that transition from junior to senior tennis.
The boys you just mentioned, do you think they can make it in the game?
Yeah, I mean the likes of Dan Evans, George Morgan, they're probably the best we've got. There's one or two more who's got a lot of potential. They've got incredible amounts of talent. If they can learn now at the age they're at what they need to do to get to where they want to get to, and if they have the desire and the ruthless determination, which you do need in a massive and it's like a ruthless focus to succeed. You need it these days in tennis, because it's so hard to succeed. If they learn that early in their career, I genuinely believe they've got a chance.